Okay, guys, so we are looking at Euro USD right here. We are looking at Euro USD. So the first thing that we're gonna do a top-down analysis as usual. We're gonna start from the monthly time frame. We're gonna start from the monthly time frame. Don't stop tapping the screen, right? We will start from the monthly time frame. So Euro USD, it's sitting at a very high, one of the most strongest resistance areas. As you can see, we've had multiple touches. I've been talking about this for the longest time. It's just that it's not moving that fast as we wish it could be. So this is Euro USD on a monthly time frame, right? This is Euro USD on a monthly time frame. So the most interesting thing about it is that uh, the market has been touching from these resistance areas. So this was the first touch, and then we've had the second touch, and then we've had the third touch. Currently, that's where we're at right now. This is the monthly time frame on the Euro USD. So we've had the third touch. So what do we anticipate? We anticipate a push to the downside direction from here. But then, before we anticipate that push, what are the factors of confluence that are taking place at this particular area right here in terms of monthly? First thing, first of all, if we zoom in, you will realize that we've had a tweezer top right here, right? We've had what? We've had what we call a tweezer top before. So if we all agree tweezer top, they symbolizes a change of character if they are formed at the right area of interest, not just anywhere you can find them in the market. When we're talking about tweezer top, when they are found, tweezer top are like twins. If you don't know what tweezer top, so these are the two candlestick, this bullish candlestick and this bearish candlestick. So the bearish candlestick that opposes the bullish candlestick, it completes the tweezer top that we've had. After that, we've seen the market pushing up, trying to take over the price. But as you can see, we've had a dodgy candlestick from there. And if you look at them, they failed to go and trade above those previous highs, these two previous highs. This dodgy rejected completely back into this area. Okay, I just want to check if my laptop is charging just quickly. Oh, okay, it's charging. So as I was still explaining, so if you look at this dodgy candlestick, how it's formed, it failed to go and trade above this area. Show that, okay, the bulls are definitely losing momentum. The sellers are in control of the market. So we've had our first signal, which is the tweezer top, and then we've had our second signal, which is the dodgy candlestick. So far, we don't have any bullish candlestick that represent a bullish momentum or change of character or a continuation of this type of market going to the upside direction, right? Any bullish candlestick formation that could emphasize that we might have something like this. We don't have it yet, even if we want to buy, but we don't have that kind of candlestick pattern. So the candlestick patterns that we have, we've got two of them at the moment. We've got this tweezer top, and then we've got this dodgy candlestick, which you've seen after this dodgy candlestick was formed, the market started pushing to the downside direction, right? So the only thing that we found on the market time frame on Euro USD, sorry, is that we are sitting at an area of interest at the most strongest resistance. We've had the first touch, and then we've had the second touch, right? So we have seen the market reacting every time it comes into this area. So remember, when we trade, we use past data analysis in order for us to understand where we're going. You get my point, what I mean? So if you look at here, this is Euro USD. They have been tapping to the very same area as they approach this area. So since we are sitting at this area, this is the current movement, we already have some factors of confluence that tells us that we must go to the downside direction. I don't want to dwell too much on it, but I want to quickly go into this so that you understand. So previously, the market also has been tapping to this same area, right? It's been tapping to this very same area. So this was the previous movement. So previously, the market has been doing what? Has been tapping to this area. So they've been tapping here, creating a support area, creating a support, but they were failing to break above these highs. So they had equal lows, and then above they were having some what do you call this? These are lower highs. These are lower highs. So they've been creating some lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Then below here, they've been creating some lower lows. After that, we've seen the market breaking from that area. Then they come back to retrace. Then I want to show you something. Ever since they've broken from that area, the market have never traded above that previous break of structure that we've had from this area. So we've had a break of structure previously from here. They broke, came back to retrace, and then they have been maintaining this particular area. So we still anticipate that, okay, we are still trading within this area. As I've already indicated, that when it comes to this case, this what you call area, you realize that they have been ascending instead of they have been yes, instead of descending, they have been instead of ascending, they have been descending in this particular area. So they've been going down. If you look at this was the high, then the market came and trade below this high, and then they came and trade below this high. So that's the market behavior. That's how they have been moving at this particular area. So we should hold ourselves with that to say, okay, this is how the market is moving currently at this moment. So this is what we've got on the monthly time frame. We are sitting at an area of interest at the most highest strongest resistance. So yeah, that is monthly time frame. I think we all understand what's happening on the monthly time frame. We expect the very same thing that has been happening previously, and then we already have some factors of confluence that tells us that the market must push to the downside direction, right? Now, if I am to hold a fib retracement also on the monthly time frame and see how far we can probably go, we might hold a fib retracement from here up until to where the market is at right now. Am I holding it right? Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm holding it right. So we might be looking at the market to push somewhere up until to this area or to this area in between of these areas, because this is 50% retracement. Ever since they've been creating some impulsive move, they never came back to retrace. So we want them to push a little bit back, either from 61.8% or 50% or 38.20%. So one of the three that the market might turn back to, it's what we're going to use. Right now, let's move into the daily time frame and to the weekly time frame and see what we can possibly find on the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we are not gonna be focusing on the whole typical movement, because now we already understand what's happening in the bigger picture, right? Understanding what's happening on the bigger picture is one of the most important things, because we already know that, okay, where the market is trading at right now, we are sitting at the strongest area of interest, which is the most strongest resistance, right? Now we're done. Our main focus should be on this particular area currently. Let's forget about the whole entire movement. We already understand where we're at right now based on what we've got on the bigger time frame, which is the monthly time frame, right? Now, our main focus should be just right here. So the first thing that we're going to look at here, I'm going to look at what was happening previously from the market, based on the counter trend that the market has been using. So if you look at this typical type of counter trend, you'll realize that they've been using this type of counter trend, which moves and create imbalance in between, right? So this type of this is just one of the counter trends that we use. We've got three types of counter trends in the market. So this type of counter trend, when it moves, it creates an impulsive move. It creates its own high and its own low, and then it leaves an imbalance in between. Creates a high and then its own low, it leaves an imbalance in between, high and on low, and then imbalance in between. As you can see, as much as they try to come back and retrace and reject it with a weak, we want the market to completely come with a full body, which they fail to do that, right? So as you can see, when we get to the top, when we get to the top, the market then starts to consolidate. This is what we call consolidation. At the same time, you can still call this an accumulation. This is what we call what? We call this a consolidation. At the same time, you can call this choppy market, because there isn't any much direction. So having an understanding of how the market has been moving previously, it helps you to understand that There have been some impulsive move that has been happening. The market has been trending. But all of a sudden, when we get to this area, the market stops trending and begins to do what? Begins to accumulate or begins to be choppy, because that symbolizes that we are at the end of an uptrend. Remember where we are sitting at, some of you who just came in now, so that you can understand. We are sitting at the area of interest, at the highest, most strongest resistance that we've been having for the longest time, right? Remember this area, we got it from the monthly time frame. We don't just get it from this weekly time frame only. So this is one of the most strongest area of interest that which we are seated at, right? The market has been poking from this area. That's what we have got. So if you see the market then start reacting at this particular area where it's at, then you know that the buyers have lost momentum, because even if you look at the body type of the candlestick that they've been moving with, you can see that these are huge candlestick, which big candlestick represent more buying or selling momentum in the market. When the market uses such huge candlestick formation, when the market uses small candlestick, it represents little buying or selling in the market. So for the fact that they've been moving impulsive with these body types of candlestick, it means the momentum was huge at this particular moment. Then now, when you start seeing the market moving with such choppy or small candlestick formation, it simply tells you that there is little buying at this particular area. The market is slowly losing its momentum, right? We might see some change of character, because I call this an accumulation phase before the impulsive move begins, right? So as you can see, we already have some equal highs. If you know what equal highs means, you will understand that equal highs means equal momentum. Then now, understanding how the market moves, they've been moving impulsively, and then at the end of an uptrend, we then now have some equal highs, which represent equal momentum. It simply means what? It simply means that the buyers have completely lost their momentum in this particular area. So that's the only thing that we have on the weekly time frame. We're sitting at a strong area of interest, which is the resistance, and then we are accumulating. The market is kind of like choppy. So what we're looking for, we're looking at a shift going to the downside direction. If you look at here, I don't see the structure broken yet, but based on the factors of confluence that I have, we are sitting at an area of interest at the top, and then we've got equal highs, and then we've got the most strongest resistance as well, and then we've got this accumulation phase, which is the fourth what you call a factor of confluence that we've got, and then we've got a choppy market as well at the end of an uptrend. So those are factors of confluence enough for me to look for some selling opportunity. Now we are on the daily time frame. We are still on Euro USD, right? So when we get to the daily time frame, we then now begins to find a clear market structure in this particular area. Like I've been saying this for the longest time, that okay, we've got what we, in terms of market structure, this is what we've got. We've got higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then higher high, and then higher low. And then this is high because it failed to go and trade above that higher high, right? This is high. So the minute the market failed to go and trade above the previous higher high, that area, it's called a high. So the structure for it to break, the deal breaker, it is between the higher high and the higher low. So as long as the markets were still trading within this area, the structure was still going to be bullish. Even if I'm to put my trend lines here, you will understand that it will still be within the trend lines at that particular area or trading session, right? I'm saying to you, if we've got a higher high and then a higher low and then a high, the market even traded below this trend line or below this higher low, the structure, it's still bullish. The breaking deal for the structure, it is between the higher high and the higher low, right? So now, since we've had these higher high and higher lows, as I've already explained, so this is the higher high, and then this is the higher low, and then this is the high, and then this is the lower low. Then now the structure was broken at this particular area, right? Now, after the structure was broken, the market went back to retrace. They created a lower high, and then lower low, and then lower high. What do we expect next? We expect the market to continue to go to the downside direction. If you look at it, the market has already started creating a downtrend at this particular area. If you guys understand what I mean, the market has already started creating a downtrend at this particular area. So what do we expect next? As you can see, the structure is not yet broken. For this downtrend to be broken, the market must trade at least above a lower high. Since we've got this is the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. If they ever come back here and then they break above, they go trade above this area, or they generally turn back from here, then they go trade above this lower high. Then the structure will be broken. We might begin to see something like this. If something like this will happen, the market trades above this lower high, and then we see something like this where they have broken the structure. But since they still respect this particular area, and as you can see, this is one of the most strongest resistance areas as well, where the market keeps on turning back from, right, continuously. So these are the most important areas that you should look out for. So we don't have that kind of breakout as yet. What am I expecting from here? I'm expecting the market to continue to go to the downside direction from here, based on the type of trend that the market has been using. As I've already said, this is the higher high, higher low, high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then we need a new lower low at this particular area. And remember, from the bigger time frame, we are sitting at an area of interest, right? Now, I'm going to continue to break it down into H4 so that we can have more factors of confluence in this particular area so that we understand what we are doing, right? Now, if you look at here, what we've got, the market have created a false breakout based on my understanding here. They've created a false breakout, giving us the illusion that they have broken out of this trend. But which is one of the most, which is some of the things that the market does when they want to do what, when they want to manipulate, because they probably definitely have seen that, okay, since we've got this downtrend, many people are going to do what, are going to sell from these areas, because they already understand that this is what, this is a downtrend. The market has been creating some lower lows, lower high, lower lows at that particular area. So they did what? They broke out of this area. This is some sort of like type of manipulation that you could expect to happen in the market. But I'll tell you one thing. We are still definitely bearish based on the bigger time frame. We cannot base our bullish movement based on one time frame, because all the majority of the time frame says we are still bearish, but it's only this time frame that says we have broken out from this trend line, of which I will not only take my trade based on only one time frame that I am looking at, right? And if you look at here previously, you will understand that we've had an accumulation phase at this particular area. Right here, we've had an accumulation phase, right? The market came back exactly back into that accumulation phase before it creates this bearish movement again. This was the break and retest area, which the market broke out from here. Come on, man. They broke out and came back to retrace, and then they created, this was the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then they continue to go. Look at this. As they were coming back, they came back into that accumulation phase again. Then they started going to the downside. Now, the question is, when the market leaves a certain area aggressively, what does that mean? Those of you who knows. So after this accumulation phase, look at the impulsive move that we've had, then the impulsive move coming back, then look at that huge movement that we've had. Now, my question is, when the market leaves a certain area of interest aggressively like this, what does that mean? I'm reading your comment. I want to see, what does that mean? When the market leaves a certain area aggressively, what does it symbolize, or what does it give us, what information it gives us about that certain area? I said this is an accumulation phase, because we've had a little bit of a choppy market, and then after that the market left aggressively and started going demand zone, breakout, change of character, resistance zone. It has to come back to retest. Order have stepped in, distribution, supply zone, liquidity, breakout, strong selling movement, maybe is the sensitive zone, strong zone, gathering strength to push down, supply zone, imbalance, BOS, supply zone. The price has left the zone with more momentum, and it has to come back and fill the gap. Fake breakout, inducement, what of the supply. Let's go bring those comments. Let me read. Okay, when the market leaves an area of interest like this, it means there's liquidity in the particular area of in that particular of interest. Also, those of you who say that's a demand zone, you are still correct. These are typical type of those areas. So now let's quickly move into 1 hour because we need to find an entry quickly. We don't have to waste too much time on this thing, right? Now, at this particular area, before they move, I've seen a head and shoulder right here, and we've already retested that head and shoulder. That's the pity about it, which our entry was supposed to be somewhere after this retracement, right? So we've had a head and shoulder here. So this is the left shoulder, and then this is the head, and then broke out, came back to retrace, and then we expect a continuation to the downside direction. But I'm still a bit skeptical about this entry because why? I'm anticipating that we must come back to retrace from this area. I'm expecting the market to pull back just a little bit to here, and then we'll continue to go down. So our entry is going to be just right here. I want the market to come back, but if they never come back to this area, I'll tell you what you're going to do. So we're going to put this line right here. If they ever break out from this area, if they ever break out here, from here, if they never do what I'm anticipating, that they must pull back to this area and then we'll continue to go down, because this is the last lower low that we've got, right? But if they never come back to this area, we wait for them to trade or to give a bearish engulfing here, where the candlestick will trade a little bit close down. I don't know if you guys understand or see what I'm talking about. So if they never come back to this area to retrace, we're gonna want for a bearish candlestick to be formed. Then we're gonna continue with them going to the downside direction. But if they ever come back to this area, that will be a bonus. We'll then wait for the candlestick formation, then we'll continue to go down with them. I don't know if you guys understand what I mean. So we've got head and shoulder, like I've already explained right here. Then this is the left shoulder, and then they broke out, then we continue to go down. That's what we're looking for. So in terms of Euro USD, we are looking for some sells, but we're just going to wait for a little bit. I need a little bit of a push to the upside direction from this area before we execute this trade. But we are sitting at the very critical areas of this Euro USD. So what you're going to look for, you're just going to look for some selling opportunity. Now, I want to show you something that I also looked at in order for us to confirm what we are looking for. So this is DXY. This is dollar index, right? So in order for us to sell on Euro USD, we need DXY to go up to gain momentum. Because remember, on the Euro USD, if you know what I'm talking about, this is Euro USD, this is the base. Okay, remember Euro USD is the base, USD is the quote, right? So when the market is buying, it means the euro is gaining momentum. And then when the market is selling, when the market is going down, it means the US dollar is gaining momentum, which is this is the base and this is the quote, right? Now, let's go back to, we are anticipating a sell on Euro USD, right? And I looked at DXY as well. So on DXY, and then we have left an area of interest right here on DXY, right? I want to remove this so that you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So we have left an area of interest, right? As you can see, the market has been poking from this area, touching to this very same area, which is, this makes it a very strong area of interest, right? Then after they've broken out, then they came back to retrace. I'm anticipating a push to the upside direction on this DXY. So this is DXY, this is dollar index. I'm anticipating a push to the upside direction. So as I'm anticipating a push to the upside direction, it simply means what? It simply means the dollar will gain momentum from here. So if the dollar gains momentum and continue to do what we are anticipating that is going to do, that simply means that the Euro USD is going to continue to go down as well. And then also, as you can see, if you look at here, the DXY, it's forming a small little bit of an uptrend where the market is creating some higher highs and higher low. So if you look at here, this was the lower low, lower high, and then low, and then higher high, and then higher low, and then higher high, and then higher low, and then we expect a new higher high at a particular moment. I don't know if you guys understand, or I'm speaking in parables. This is DXY. This is dollar index. We are measuring the dollar to look at what could possibly happen. I'll show you one thing. So if you look at this movement right here, this is dollar index, right? if you look at this movement that took place last week, this one, when the market was selling, you will realize that on Euro USD, the market was doing what? It was buying. So it means the dollar was losing momentum at this particular area. The dollar was, the Euro USD was buying. The dollar was losing momentum. While the DXY was doing what? Was selling at that particular moment. So that's how you make use of the dollar index. You understand, you measure how strong the dollar is going to be on that particular week, right? We measure how the dollar is going to be. So since the dollar also agree with us that it will be going up, then we're going to be doing what? We're going to be looking for some buying opportunities from the dollar index going to the upside direction up until to this area. So it corresponds with what we are looking for in terms of the Euro USD. In terms of the Euro USD. I don't know if you guys understand me or I'm speaking in parables. Yes, because the US economy is quite bad. Okay, cool. So guys, let me know in the comment section if we are on the same page or I'm speaking in parables so that I may continue with our analysis. Guys, please don't stop tapping the screen. Don't stop tapping the screen. You guys stop tapping the screen. I don't know why. Every time I come live and I'm trying to teach you about something, you guys stop tapping the screen. This is Euro USD market breakdown. Okay, don't forget to keep tapping the screen, right? So this is DXY, which is creating an uptrend, right? I told you where the structure got broken. If you look at the market structure, this is the lower low, lower high, and then low, because it failed to break to trade below this lower low. Then they went and create a new higher high, higher low, and then higher high, higher low. And then we want a new higher high in terms of the DXY. That's what we are looking at, right? Of which this is the next area of interest. If you look at it, right? This is the next area of interest. This is the next area of interest, as you can see. But we are not there. We're just measuring the US dollar at this particular, what you call DXY analysis. We're just measuring the US dollar. But our main focus, it's on the Euro USD. We are looking for a selling opportunity on the Euro USD, right? I said to you, if the market fails to go and trade above that area, let's look for some selling opportunity. But you know what I can tell you? Let's find some selling opportunity now. If you are on the live, let's find some selling opportunity. It's not gonna go there and retrace. I'm going to pause the live and then I'm going to execute some trade as well. I'm going to pause the live and I'm going to. So if you've got a live account, that's what I'm also seeing. If you've got a live account, find yourself just look for some selling opportunity right now on the Euro USD, right? Technicals is not 100%, so that's why fundamentals are important. What are you talking about, bro? I don't like people who comes with negativity. I'm sorry, I'll have to block you. Okay. But use proper risk management because the possibilities on this Euro USD, right? It could still turn a little bit back and then we continue to go down. I would say, I want to do something quickly before you execute the trade, guys. I would say, okay, you know what I would say? Let's wait for the next 10 minutes. Let's wait for 30 minutes to close. I want to see what 30 minutes is going to close with. I want to see what 30 minutes is going to close with. So let's wait for 30 minutes to close, right? Please, let's wait for 30 minutes to close. Remind me when it's exactly 7:30, right? We have 10 minutes to look at another pair. Remind me exactly on the live when it's 7:30. Don't execute now. Let's wait for, I want us when we execute, we're going to profit exactly. So 30 minutes might tell us if we're going to close with this tweezer bottom or the market will shift a little bit up or it will close with a bearish. So let's wait for this 30 minutes, just 10 minutes. Then we're going to be executing our trade. Now, I want us to go and look at Gbpusd quickly. I want us to go and look at Gbpusd quickly. Are you guys with me? I want us to go and look at Gbpusd quickly. So Gbpusd quickly, Gbpusd, it looks exactly like what do you call? Like Eurusd what is doing. I'll tell you the truth. It looks like Eurusd what is doing. Guys, please don't forget, remind me in the next 10 minutes. We look at Eurusd. What is doing, right? Don't execute now as yet. So Gbpusd, it's also sitting at an area of interest in terms of monthly time frame. As you can see right there, right? This is Gbpusd. So the market has been poking from this resistance area and then continually going to the downside direction, right? Now, so this now makes this area one of the most strongest areas of interest, which is the most strongest resistance. Guys, don't stop tapping the screen, please. Let's get to 100K likes. Don't stop tapping the screen. I'm going to be a little bit quick with the Gbpusd because it's almost the same thing, right? With the Eurusd. As you can see, the market has been tapping to the very same area, going to the downside direction. Every time you tap into the area, it changes direction. Every time you tap into this area, it changes direction. So now, if you look at here, you realize that we've got some factors of confluence already at this particular area. So we've got what we've got a bearish engulfing. And then after the bearish engulfing, we've had an opposing candlestick, and then we've got a doji candlestick right there. And then what do we expect? We expect a push to the downside direction. But then now, if you look at here, we've got this uptrend that the market has been creating. As you can see that they've been poking between this resistance and then coming back to support. I will anticipate that we must come back and create a new support area at this particular area. But yeah, it's our wish, but we just have to follow what the market is doing. We cannot tell the market what to do. We are just going to look at the factors of confluence that we're going to find in the market to see if they are going to do what we want them to do, or they're going to do something oppositely, right? Guys, it's a very simple thing. We are sitting at an area of interest where the market has been turning back from. We already have some factors of confluence based on some candlestick formation. This is the strongest resistance. This is an area of interest at the same time. As you can see, this area, it comes even back previously on our previous data analysis that they have been poking from this certain area of interest, right? Now, let's quickly go into daily. I'm going to be very much quick when it comes to this one, right? Let's quickly go into daily. When you get into daily, as you can see, the market, how it's been moving, it's almost the same counter trend that we've got on the Eurusd, which moves with impulsive move, creating some imbalance, creating a new high, higher low, and then higher low, and then imbalance again, creating a new high, higher low, and then imbalance again. That's what they've been doing. Obviously, when they get at the top, then they started consolidating. This is the accumulation phase, which is called a choppy market, as you can see, right? Some of you will realize that the structure is already broken at this particular area. If you know how to identify the structure, you will realize that we've had this as a higher high, higher low, higher high, and then this is the higher low. Don't forget, this is the new lower low that they've created. This is the lower high. And then after this lower high, they have been created a new lower low. They've been just trading in between. Because remember, for the structure to be broken, the breaking deal, it is between the lower low and the lower high. If it's an uptrend, the breaking deal, it is between the higher high and the higher low. So as you can see, if we are to look at the breaking deal on the uptrend, this is the higher high, and then this is the higher low right there. So the market traded above this higher high and then created a new below this higher low, I meant to say. Then they created a new lower low. Okay. I'm still here. I didn't leave. I just wanted to check something on the comment section. I'm seeing there's someone who's poaching people. Eh? I don't like someone who comes here and poach people. So I'm trying to deal with that person. I can't find their name. So as I was still saying, this is the lower low, and then this will be the lower high. So the market, as long as it's still trading between the lower low and the lower high, it's still completely bearish, right? So we're still going to the downside direction. But this signal will become more stronger once the market is traded below this area. But I'll tell you one, once if you can wait until they come here, you would have lost a lot of pips along the way, along the side. This structure is definitely bearish. Now let's quickly go into the daily time frame, right? So in terms of the daily time frame, I want to show you something. If you've been following me for some time, you will know that I've spoken about this area for the longest time. This one. This is one of the most strongest area of interest here. If you've been following me for some time, you will know that I've been talking about this area for the longest time. We've had multiple touches from the very same area, multiple touches, right? Multiple touches from this very same area. Even when they were going up, then I did mention that this area is one of the most strongest area of interest. To see the market respecting this area, then we know that, okay, we're going to continue to go to the downside direction. If you look at here, what candlestick formation is this? What candlestick formation is this one, guys? Don't stop tapping the screen, guys. Let's get to 100K likes. What candlestick formation is this? Don't stop tapping the screen. What candlestick formation is this? What candlestick formation is this? 1, 2, 3. What candlestick formation is this? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The only problem I have in Forex is marrying the fundamental properly with the technical. It's an evening star, right? Which symbolizes what? It symbolizes a change of character going to the downside direction. So if you look at here, I want to show you something. I want to show you something right here. We are only left with 2 minutes before we go look at Euro USD. So this is lower low right here. This is lower high, and then this is lower low. And then the market came back to retrace at this particular area. So we are still completely bearish, as you can see. They respected that structure. So if you look at it, you'll understand. If you understand market structure, you'll understand what I mean, right? Now, in terms of type of trend, we are riding on a downtrend as well. We are riding on a downtrend. Although the trend is not yet that clean, but this is a downtrend. I can assure you this is a downtrend, right? We've got an evening star right there. So this is the lower low, lower high, and then lower low, lower high, and then we're anticipating a new lower low at this particular area. We've got an evening star, which symbolizes a bearish movement as well. Let's quickly go into H4. 1 minute left before we get into our trade. Right? There is nothing much to talk about, guys, here. This thing is just selling. This is just selling. As you can see, we've had an M pattern right there. And then the market went back to retrace, manipulated a little bit. Then they came back, then they continue to go down. That's all that's all we're looking for. So all you can do, just look for some selling opportunity on Gbpusd, but I'm more interested into the Euro USD. Yeah, I think it's the right time to sell Euro USD right now. It is the right time to sell Euro USD. Let's go quickly check Euro USD 30 minutes. Yeah, it is the right time to sell Euro USD. I'm going to be pausing the live, opening some positions as well. It is the right time to sell Euro USD. I'll pause the live. Okay, cool. I am done. The only problem I have, okay, I am done. 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 Guys, that's what we've got on Euro USD. And then I've executed Euro USD as well right now. And then I'll have to send it to my groups. So let me love and leave you. I will see you later, right? I will have to send it to my signal groups and then, yeah. Let me love and leave you. I'll see you later. I hope you guys had a beautiful session with me. Let me know in the comment section if you've had a beautiful session, right? Systematic BCB trading solution. If you've had a beautiful session, many of you are already floating in profit. So, guys, if you want to trade with the same broker that I'm trading with, go into my bio. You're going to find my contact details. You're going to find my contact details right there, and then you reach out to me, and then we will be able to trade together with the same broker that I'm trading with. If you want to trade with the same broker that I'm trading with, you go into my bio, you're going to find my contact details right there. And then, yeah. Okay, guys, let me love and leave you. Bye. I'm out. Cheers. Have a beautiful evening. I'm out. Have a beautiful morning. Thank you so much, guys. I'm out. Shop.